Eminem.
Everybody's favorite white rapper is
Oh,
back.
not anymore. That's a whole nother topic.
I'm just saying. I mean, he's like the holy grail of white rappers. Is that not true?
I think he used to be. I think today somebody else has that title.
Who is that? That's a real question.
You serious? I feel like you baiting me.
No, no, but I don't know who. Listen, I
The
think
most famous rapper in the world right now is Jewish. He grew up Jewish. He had a bar mitzvah.
I've never considered Drake white. I want to be clear. Like I've never looked at him and thought, "Oh, that's a white man." I mean, I get that there's this conversation happening right now around this, and I get how he grew up. I never looked at Drake and thought he was a white man or classified him as such, categorized him as such. I always considered him black. And you know what? In the United States, I know he's from Toronto, but in the United States, he really only needed one drop to be considered black. So we could keep having this conversation about how Drake is not black or Drake didn't grow up black, but Drake is black as far as I'm concerned. Eminem is white. Like, you want to have a conversation about biracial people and intersectionality, we could totally have that conversation. But to me, Drake is black.
Got it. Well, this conversation is not about Drake. It is about Eminem.
But
On Friday,
who would be the biggest white rapper? Seriously. I'm not talking about Drake, and you know I'm not talking about Drake.
oh,
Who
but
would
I
it be?
was. That's why I said Drake.
I
I
know
meant
you are.
Drake.
You really think that Drake? Okay, that's fine.
I mean,
Is he not a black Jew?
he doesn't even recognize himself as Jewish, but he does say in interviews in the past that he grew up white. He grew up, he had bar mitzvahs and everything. The footage is out. I mean, you could find that pretty easily, probably. So that's a white guy, no?
Okay.
I'm asking. That's not growing up white.
Yes.
Does he have black in him? Absolutely. Drake has a closer descendants to Africa than I do. If we're gonna go that route, right? If we're gonna be serious about it and not silly, yes. Drake has a closer descendants to Africa than I do. Yes. Absolutely. There's no questioning that. But he grew up Jewish with bar mitzvahs. So I mean, would it not be him? It's not
I
the
mean,
most.
this is this. We could end up in circles, but okay. I guess I was thinking more like Post Malone and like people like not I'm sorry, Jack Harlow and people like that. That's what I was
Got
thinking
it. You mean a
when I
hundred
heard
percent white?
when I yes, when I say white, I mean white. You are if you are half black, you are considered black in this country. I don't that's not. I wasn't. Okay. Let's backtrack. I wasn't joking. I was serious when I said I consider Drake black because Drake has a black father.
Yes.
So Drake is considered a black man. He may not be from here or I don't know how else to say it. He may not be from here. He may be from Toronto, but I am from the U.S. where if you are half black, you are black.
Yes.
So I hope when I said what I said, I wasn't joking. I was serious. I was thinking more. I know I said Post Malone. That's not who I was thinking of. But I was thinking of like Jack Harlow and Eminem, people who are
Mac Miller.
Mac Mill, right? White.
There's another guy. I can't remember his name. He battled Eminem. Kelly,
Be-
Machine Gun Kelly.
because then would you have said that then J. Cole is white?
The second famous. No, I'm just like.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what I meant when I say white rapper. I mean white rapper.
I think it's an interesting conversation. Probably one I'm not the best person to be a part of because again, they have they are closer in diameter to the descendants of Africa than I am. And so people might say, oh, that Spanish guy's talking about biracial kids. He should shut the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
And I can understand that. But I think there's a conversation to be had about the way we grow up and how it informs who we are as adults.
Of course.
And I think that shows very much, I think that comes out very differently in J. Cole and Drake. I think from Drake, we see a lot more of the white side and how he grew up with that parent, as opposed to J. Cole and how he grew up with that parent. J. Cole was mostly with mom too, but it seems like he was embracing his blackness at an early age.
He used to hang out with
Uh,
his cousins.
and yeah, he literally speaks about hanging out with his cousins. So yeah,
Because when you hang out with your cousins,
yeah.
that'll shape you in whatever way.
And so I think there's a conversation there. And if again, I don't think I'm the best person to have that conversation because of how it can be viewed. I'm honest about that, but I think there's a conversation that is allowed to be had. I also think
Sure.
I also don't think white people who are fans of Drake look at Drake as a black artist. I think they look at him as, oh, one of us is the best.
I don't know. I don't know if I believe that, but and maybe you're
There's a
right.
Jewish guy I see all the time. I can't say where, but there's a Jewish guy I see all the time with OVO gear on, all the time. And every time I see him, I want to ask him, and I can't because of where I see him at. But I'm always like, man, why does he like Drake? Let's have a real deep conversation. But I can't have that conversation with him. But he's always OVO'd out. He's the Jewish, and I don't mean by Jewish guy like the Drake Jewish guy who I grew up Jewish, but I denounced it or I don't celebrate it or whatever. I mean, the person I see is, um, there's a term for I don't, is it Orthodox Jew? I believe is the term. If I'm saying it wrong, forgive me. I'm not trying to be discriminatory.
You're talking.
Honestly,
You're talking about like there's different sects, but are you talking about the more devout? They have wear the garb and
yes.
hair and yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what they are. That family, the family that he's a part of, that's what they are. And so I see him all the time, OVO'd out, and I'm like,
Okay,
no wonder.
but see and see, I don't know. I've never asked a white person what they think of Drake or how they would.
We should hit the streets.
Nope.
Billy in the streets.
Nope.
Which really, I think first, what was his name? I'm like really tired.
Streets. Hits from the street.
Right.
Hits.
It's from the streets. No, but didn't Jay Leno used to do that too? Didn't he make it
Oh,
famous?
I think Jay
Where
Leno
he
did
would
have a
just
segment like that on his
go in
show.
the street and ask people questions like, who's the president right now? They'd be like, Dashing D. He'd be like, yup, you right.
They'll say, yeah, they would say random
Yeah.
things.
He'd be like, when I say JD, what comes to mind? They'd be like, R. Kelly? No, not R. Kelly. And just say random stuff that didn't make any sense.
It's just yeah. I think you're right
Like
about that.
JD, oh yeah, isn't that Michael Jordan's dad? You'd be like, what?
Yeah, no.
I think Jay Leno made that famous. But anyway, we should do that. We should hit the white streets, you know?
I'd be willing to hit the streets, but not for that reason.
You can't ask the whites who's their favorite.
I mean, we can, but
I don't think people would like us very much if we did.
no, exactly. And we can't ask them what we really want to ask them, so it's we'd be blurring the lines a little bit there. But I will say, so I agree with you. I think that culturally there is a conversation to be had. But there's
I mean, it
different.
comes up all the time with Logic. I mean, it's his fault. It
Yeah,
comes up a lot, but it comes up a lot with Logic, and
but
I don't see why it can't come up with the other people. I think with J. Cole, I'm sorry, I totally cut you off. I'll shut up. I just want to say this last part. I think with J. Cole, because he embraces blackness at such a young age, and he comes across as this like super hip hop historian, grew up in the hood black guy, that nobody even really questioned it until he said he had a white mom on a song.
right. And that's why I'm saying I think culturally there's a conversation to be had. Um, but I think, but there's a difference between how you culturally identify and how you walk into a room, because people see you first before they
Yeah.
know what's inside or what you're going to say or what you identify with. So to me, when we started this conversation, for me it was simply his dad is black, his mom is white. I consider him a black man. Culturally, you are absolutely right in saying he did not grow up in what we might consider a traditionally black existence. He is very much saying the opposite of that, which is absolutely, it absolutely warrants a discussion about culturally is he of and a part of our culture. Um, so yes, there are plenty of conversations to be had around Drake and even J. Cole, and because one could argue that J. Cole kind of falls under the radar when it comes to that because of what he knows and how he presents himself and how he grew up.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
yes,
there's a whole list of them, but
yeah,
if
of
we're
course,
speaking hip hop specifically, those are kind of the three that it comes up with:
right.
Drake, J. Cole, and Logic. If we expand it to black music, then yeah, it gets to be a bigger conversation. Because
Yeah,
until like a couple years ago, I didn't know Mariah Carey was black at all. Like,
yeah,
I
and
thought she just hung out with us. Just being honest, because she was remember, she was a pop star before she came into any hip hop realm.
sure, I see why you say that, but so I
And
get
also,
it.
there's none about Mariah's music that says black until a certain point. And at that point, it's like, oh, but you was hanging with Diddy and ODB and them, and then Jermaine Dupri,
Yes,
Rockefeller.
even and when they tell stories about her, they
Yeah, no, she seems very
down
deep.
to earth.
Oh, I was gonna say the opposite. It'd be sounding like she's a diva.
Oh no, I feel like when they tell stories about her though, she's culturally black.
Oh, I mean, I guess it depends who tells the story, because I've heard some stories where it's like she's what they say hot to Diddy, right? Like she's like super stuck up and diva type of person. But then I've heard other stories where like, yeah, until the alcohol came out or until certain things happened,
Or
and
like
then it was
when
like
she was hanging out with the
she's someone
rappers.
else. She
Right.
was
I've
someone.
heard that when she's with the rappers, she's very comfortable.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard. But I think we've all said all of this to say that we really don't want to talk about Houdini.
But we have to.